Alright. Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be an all-the-random game between Starbuck and HawK, taking place here on Fading Autumn. Um, a good game are you? All the random style. Alright. I do like how it's like Fading Autumn. It's kind of a snowy map, and there's but it's not quite winter yet, except maybe towards the down base here. So as you get further into the game, or further into the map, it is a little bit more of an ice map. But um, yeah, just a nice little balance here. Starbuck has spawned as the yellow undead over here on the bottom left. Meanwhile, HawK has spawned as the blue human on the top right. It is all the random, so we don't know what heroes we're going to get. And as always, the normal strategy would be to try and do a bit of creeping early on. I know that's doesn't sound too different than a typical Warcraft 3 game, but because you don't know what hero you're going to get, you can't just say, you know what, I'm going to go Farseer, Harass, and then do a quick tech to tier 2, say if you're Orc, because you may get a hero that doesn't harass very well and you actually need to creep with. So both sides opening things up. You're going to see a crypt right there. There is that Altar of Darkness summoning up a hero. There's a footman getting trained up as well, and there is that Altar of Kings. Scout tower. I'm gonna upgrade to an ivory tower here, and let's get to that all-important 2-minute mark where we can start predicting what players are gonna try and do. All right, 2-minute mark of the game has been reached. Let's slow things down, and we are looking at a Bloodmage first. Yeah, talk about a non-harassment hero. Bloodmage first, going up against a Shadowhunter. Now, Shadowhunter could try and do a lot of Serpent Wards to do a little bit of poking. We can see that that guy quickly getting taken out. Very low hit point footman, down to 42 hit points, down to 20. He has to be very careful. Gets taken out. Alright, so HawK did not auto-attack his own unit to lose aggro onto that unit. He didn't train up a heal either. And that's a mistake that we do not normally see made this early in the game. Right, you're just playing against the computer essentially, and the Shadow Hunter letting one of his own footmen get taken out early on. Coming back down to the south side here, Bloodmage gonna wander around here. There's still a footman doing a little bit of scouting off on the side here. We're gonna see a pig get taken down. Perhaps there's some blight and summoning up of a ziggurat, and that may actually be a little bit of a problem here. The Shadowhunter Serpent Ward is gonna force a cancellation on that ziggurat there. There's a gift wrapped ghoul, and now level 2 on that Shadowhunter. That's gonna get taken out easily as well as the Serpent Ward now doing a little bit of poking too. Alright, units continuing to wander around here. Finally going to take down that Serpent Ward. Serpent Ward doesn't do that much damage at level 1. It really spikes back up at level 2 as we see a quick Flame Strike onto that Renegade Wizard there. Bloodmage looking to get to level 2. Should be able to get there with really no problem. Lightning Shield now, however, on the Bloodmage, as the Bloodmage, gonna actually apply a little bit of lightning damage to that unit and now look to back up again. There's a scroll of not a scroll of regeneration, that ritual dagger for a little bit of heals. And what we saw, those skeletal minions taking a fair amount of damage because of that that lightning shield. Now, HawK does have Cloak of Shadows wandering around here, Gloves of Haste. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Serpent Wards doing a little bit of poke by here once more. That double Serpent Ward getting in a bit of poke damage again. And this may be just very easy now for the Shadowhunter to try and come in and harass. There is an Arubian tower though, so that is going to act as a deterrent. Meanwhile, the Shadowhunter going up against, the Bloodmage here. We're going to see Siphon Mana, removing mana from that Shadowhunter, as the Bloodmage may be able to land down a Flame Strike eventually, but always difficult to try and hit moving targets as as HawK now gets up to level 3. Alright, level 3, big Flame Strike, however, from the Bloodmage, cleaning up many of those units again. We're going to see a Serpent Ward get taken down, a little bit of experience once more as the Bloodmage looking to siphon mana away from the Shadowhunter once more. Alright, ebb and flow of this battle, very interesting. Both sides going back and forth. Tech to tier 2 nearly done on both sides. And the question will now be, will we have a second hero? Normally, we only see solo heroes if there is a very powerful level 6 game-changing ultimate on a fast cooldown, such as, well, I would say Possession by the Dark Ranger, or the Goblin Alchemist Transmute. But even then, well, having 2 heroes often better than 1 if you can get multiple level 5 heroes. It can often trump a single level 7 hero eventually. Bloodmage still coming back around here. We're going to see some more damage onto that Footman. Bloodmage does have Boots of Speed, trying to catch up. There's a little bit of damage again, but doesn't hit the lower hit point Footman, as that Footman able to retreat back again. We are at tier 2. We are getting up a second hero. We should be getting the long rifleman upgrades. And we are going to be getting up a, well, I gotta believe a Scroll of Regeneration, and now adding in a Clarity Potion as well. Well, eventually, perhaps after it clears out a little bit more of those creep camps. There's some more Siphon mana from that Blood Mage. The Tuskar Sorcerer quickly getting cleaned up. A bunch of low hit point ghouls will be forced to try and retreat back home, as the Blood Mage is 5 experience shy from level 3. Now, all of these ghouls, well, return their lumber for just a little bit and then make their way back out. Keeper of the Grove, the second hero from HawK. And, well, I guess both sides content to just try and do a little bit of creeping. All right, Furbo going to get cleaned up here. Tracker going after the Rifleman. Has to be careful. That Tracker does deal quite a bit of damage. Footman trying to get away, and what is going on here? That Tracker just like constantly switching targets as we look at Devotion Aura for that Keeper of the Grove. All right, a little bit more damage again. Serpent Ward's going to poke back the other way, perhaps use that Scroll of Regeneration on a bunch of low hit point Footmen here. Try and save them again. He's going to use it? No, not going to use it. Apparently, Footman not quite worth it. Down to the south, Bloodmage is sitting at level 3 now. Starbuck able to set up an expansion here on the southern side. An illusion, well, Bloodmage illusion, perhaps trying to lay down or pretend to lay down a Flame Strike, but, well, HawK not buying it. Bloodmage not coming back from the other side here. Is he going to be able to finish off? There's a Flame Strike. There goes a Footman. Footman quickly getting cleaned up. Another Footman could get taken down to 19 hit points. There's a healing wave bouncing around once more. Where are all of the other low hit point ghouls, or the ghouls, to try and offer a bit of protection? There is not that much going on here. We're going to see another Flame Strike, and now the Bloodmage getting entangled and into a little bit of trouble. Now trying to retreat back, needs to buy a Potion of Healing, and does do it just in time. Also now has an Obsidian Statue. There's a Flame Strike again, and we're going to be looking at more Siphon mana once more. Oh, was that an Entangle? It looked like a Flame Strike went down, but the Bloodmage actually did not complete it there. All right, Essence of Blight now on that Bloodmage. Bloodmage able to fire, or, well, heal up just a little bit. Scroll of Regeneration going. There's a Flame Strike again. More of those units trying to retreat back, as the Priest, well, gonna have a little bit of problems. All right, I believe that was an Entangle on the Bloodmage. Yeah, Bloodmage getting entangled. There's a Potion of Healing again, as the Bloodmage could have a little bit of problems. There's some more damage. We're looking at the Black Citadel with that Cold Tower causing a bit of problems. All right, Bloodmage looking to perhaps siphon a little bit more mana. We're looking at the Priest trying to heal back up. Dual Obsidian Statues providing, well, Essence of Blight and Essence of Mana again. There's some more Siphon mana off once more, as the Bloodmage able to hold back steady at 90 or at 100 mana now, and looking to get another Flame Strike down. Now, the Serpent Wards are pretty much immune to that Flame Strike. They're not getting that much damage, and so much poking still happening here. Are we going to be looking at another Flame Strike, perhaps trying to retreat back again? Where is that? There's that Flame Strike, and a couple of Footmen may get taken down. There goes one. We're looking at a little bit of auto attack. There goes another. The Bloodmage was able to pick up an Orb of Corruption right before the Tomb of Relics got shot down here, as we're looking at an Arcane Vault being built up in Starbuck's base. HawK wanting to get a little bit more action here, perhaps going to get some Ivory Towers or just Potions of Healing and continue to poke here. The Serpent Ward's doing quite a bit of work. Clarity Potion here now on the Shadow Hunter. So, well, the Clarity Potion's doing quite a bit of work. And remember, this, even though it is a human army, it is an orc hero, so not uncommon to see a proxy Voodoo Lounger, or the ability to just buy potions right in your opponent's base. All right, Bloodmage continuing to do quite a bit of work here. There's a new, a new Tomb of Relics. There's a little bit more Siphon mana again. We're trying to finish things off, and now the Bloodmage gets up to level 4. This could greatly change things as we see another, well, get taken down again. All right, Bloodmage trying to finish things off, gonna finish off that Serpent Ward here, and now perhaps take down this Arcane Vault. We're at 32 supply compared to 45. The Expo is not yet operational. We can see a Nerubian Tower and a Spirit Tower trying to get constructed at the expansion here, as the Bloodmage perhaps going to try and catch his opponent creeping. That's in a little bit of damage. Entangle onto the Bloodmage. Bloodmage going to be forced to try and retreat. There's some more Siphon mana as the Shadow Hunter now low on mana again. Are we going to see another Flame Strike go down? There's another Flame Strike. It does hit a couple of those units again as the Ice Warlord, well, it tries to finish off these targets here. Triple Serpent Wards here. Bloodmage coming back through. We're looking at those Serpent Ward just constantly getting poked down. Shadow Hunter sitting at level 3. Does have a Book of the Dead, but without Destroyers, or with the threat of Destroyers, I don't know if HawK really wants to try and use it. All right. Haunted Goldmine nearly done. And there's a Necropolis here. Spirit or Nerubian Towers. Spirit Tower is going to perhaps poke back the other way. And now here we have it. Here we go. Haunted Goldmine. I'm going to see some repairs. We do. Bloodmage going to come back across here. Perhaps going to throw down a Flame Strike. There's another Siphon mana again. Bloodmage needs to throw down a Flame Strike against all of these clustered units. Force them to not, or do not give them an easy time to engage. And there you have it. What did it hit enough? All right, some more repairs. Bloodmage could be in a little bit of trouble. Down to 450 hit points after the Potion of Healing, as the Bloodmage is just trying to hold back this large army. 41 supply compared to 50, as now we see a Meat Wagon join in on the battle. All right, Meat Wagon with Disease Cloud, Book of the Dead, and now used, and you're going to see a bunch of skeletal minions and skeletal archers cleaning up many of these acolytes here. This could potentially be a problem as the Bloodmage now tries to fall back again. We're going to see, well, a very dead, no, Rifleman does not get Rifleman does not finish off that Ghoul. That Ghoul going to be able to retreat back once more, as we're looking at Abominations now joining in on the battle. All right, Abominations. One of the reasons why Abominations are so powerful is because of their large hit point capacity, and then often a Death Knight there to try and well, heal it up nicely. All right, another Flame Strike, but not enough of those units, or not enough damage onto all of those units. We're going to look Book of the Dead, still finishing up some more of these acolytes here. Bloodmage going to take down this Serpent Ward, and the Bloodmage perhaps trying to get a game, or trying to get to level 6 quickly, and by getting to level 6 would be able to easily, getting to level 6 would be able to get to Phoenix, which is one of those powerful ultimate abilities that we've been talking about. Alright, Obsidian Statue needs to get repaired by an acolyte. Oftentimes, things that I don't think about, undead often have the Death Knight as their primary hero, so low hit point mechanical units, well, they get natural regeneration from that unholy aura that, well, naturally makes Obsidian Statues and other mechanical units regenerate hit points. And you don't see low hit point Obsidian Statues for a super long time, at least not like 7 hit point low, as they just naturally climbs back up. Not the case here. This guy does need to be repaired. He's back up to 333, and this acolyte now, well, perhaps on auto repair duty, going to heal up all of these, or repair all of these buildings again. All right, little bit of fighting getting underway. Level 4 on the Shadow Hunter, level 3 on the Keeper of the Grove. There's an Anka Reincarnation. Bloodmage. This is an interesting combination of units here. Bloodmage, Abominations, and Meat Wagon. Not your typical undead army. Even if it was led by a Death Knight at this stage, it's not what you would normally see. All right, there's some more Siphon mana. Ogre Magi trying to drain mana out right there. Going to finish off the Ogre Mauler off over here as well. Meanwhile, with a red creep camp, the Wendigo Shaman going to get cleaned up here on the southern side. So HawK going to your classic rifle caster with sorceresses and priest. But without Brilliance Aura, I do wonder how much mana these priests are going to have. You can take a look. The priests, all of them, or pretty much all of them, are low on mana already. And without Brilliance Aura, it does get rather tough. All right, now we're going to see some repairs. This Acolyte, I thought he was on auto repair. He is not. And now we're going to see some Nerubian towers perhaps get poked down. All right, Bloodmage trying to dive in. Are we going to see a Flame Strike go down onto the Arcane Tower? Yes, we are. Arcane Tower quickly taken out. and now perhaps going to go after some of those peasants as well, going straight after the castle. And now we're going to look at a flame strike go down. All of those peasants try to make their way over there. Some of them are going to get taken out as we see a tactical retreat right there. So forcing the peasants to come back over and then placing down a flame strike, nearly taking them out here, doing a little quick exchange once more. More acolytes to, well, summoned up, haunting this gold mine again. Perhaps we should see some repairs as well. We're looking at 59 supply compared to 57. An expansion is underway, and the ghouls, well, not going to be able to stick around easily here. They're going to be forced to retreat back. An easy entangle onto that ghoul right there, making sure that it gets taken down. All right, Bloodmage, Siphon Mana, Serpent Wards. We're looking at, well, level 5 now on that Bloodmage. Serpent Wards are actually turning into the Bloodmage's favorite experience food, as we're looking at these units trying to make their way through again. All right, Unholy Aura on the Shadow Hunter. They're going to be able to move slightly faster. Abominations now making their way as well. And this is another thing to note. Abominations and their Disease Cloud is known for draining the mana out of those priests so quickly, as we're going to see a Flame Strike go down across all those Riflemen there. Riflemen quickly having to dodge that bit of damage again. Bloodmage is sitting at level 3 Flame Strike and has been able to cast a Flame Strike pretty consistently. All right, so if we see another highly, tightly packed group of units, they're going to try and retreat back here. Low hit point Abomination going to get taken down. It does give level 4 to the Keeper of the Grove. Meat Wagons are lobbing attacks again, as we're looking at the Keeper of the Grove running out of mana once more. All right, so are we going to see some Flame Strike go down again? Rifleman trying to dodge that damage. A Sorceress not so lucky, as this Abomination about to fall as well. Shadow Hunter now at level 5 as well. Keeper, or the Blood Mage, at 5.5 units, falling back once more. And the expansion by HawK is up and operational. All right. However, main base of HawK, well, a couple of ghouls and a destroyer able to clean up quite a bit of damage. There's another Flame Strike again, and now the Blood Mage forced to fall back. Are we perhaps going to see another Potion of Healing? Oh, using the Potion of Mana. First, there's a, oh, Flame Strike there. Unit's going to try and fall back. There goes another Rifleman. Are we going to see another Abomination taken down? Yeah, Keeper, or Shadow Hunter and Keeper of the Grove, they are just racing to try and get to that next level. Blood Mage in position. There goes another Rifleman again. So just constantly trying to split apart all of those units. And I haven't seen Flame Strike used so aggressively and so well in quite some time. All right, Shadow Hunter trying to retreat back here. Blood Mage is going to be able to do enough. There's another Flame Strike. Units are going to try and fall back. Shadow Hunter could be in trouble. Shadow Hunter falls. All right, the Anka Reincarnation is going to bring that, bring him back. There it goes. Brings him back. That was actually pretty quick. Blood Mage trying to finish off low hit point units one at a time. Are we going to see that Serpent Ward get taken down? There's some more Siphon Mana trying to break that connection, as the Blood Mage is just shy of level 6. So 6 experience shy. Are we going to perhaps just see some death onto some of those other units? Priest, all of them low on mana. Remember, they're just constantly trying to heal up damage, and by constantly healing up damage, and then the Disease Cloud just removes it, it just constantly causes problems. Abomination, or excuse me, Blood Mage, now double potions of mana. Are we going to see, well, oh, there's the Phoenix. So Phoenix is now out in play, ready to do a little bit of damage. Abomination trying to retreat back once more. And where is that Phoenix going to go? Meanwhile, Abomination is just sitting here trying to finish off some of these militia again. All right, Blood Mage trying to fall back once more. We're looking at the Phoenix, well, killing peasants like it's going out of style, and able to deal quite a bit of damage here. All right, Blood Mage, well, through the fire and flames, those Riflemen constantly getting cleaned up here. Another Abomination taken down. And where is this Phoenix going to go? Perhaps just going to well, try to hide itself, hide its egg, and then come back into play once more. All right. The Destroyer could finish off a couple more of those peasants there. Is this a Phoenix? Oh, no, you do not want it to let it die over. Oh, it's going to die. It does find a place to land. It is going to be able to come back up right there. I thought it was going to end up, yeah, needed to move a little bit more over, as we're looking at 51 supply compared to 50. All right, more damage moving on through. Blood Mage, Phoenix coming back around again, able to find and do damage. There goes another Rifleman, as the Blood Mage's auto attack is still quite deadly because of that Orb of Corruption. All right, Blood Mage What is it going to try and do? All of these targets really don't have that much mana. Keeper of the Grove being forced to break that link right there. Could have used an Entangle to do that, but instead tried to walk back. So still low on mana. Keeper of the Grove now down to 50 some odd mana again. Alright, what's happening now? Abomination could try to dive in onto this spot. You can see that Disease Cloud is still lasting quite a bit of time. Starbuck has has ways to put down pressure onto his opponent, but he isn't really applying it any longer. Alright, there is that Phoenix Egg again. It's going to hatch once more and perhaps going to try and engage here. Serpent Ward is going to go ahead and get summoned up. In comes the Abominations. Where is that Bloodmage? There goes an Entangle. Destroyer going to easily devour magic again, and we're going to see, well, the Serpent Ward's poking apart at these Acolytes. Meanwhile, the Bloodmage going to come across. Is he going to Flame Strike this? Yes, he is. Flame Striking this location. All of these peasants are going to get taken down, and as those peasants are taken out, well, getting a little bit more. In comes the Phoenix again, just putting pressure at the Expo. All right, so we're looking at HawK, unable to easily defend both his main base and the Expo. Bloodmage gets up to level 7. It somehow got already back home. Did it scroll of Town Portal? It may have scrolled. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how it was able to get back that quickly, but it's able to finish off some more. And now we're looking at a Destroyer trying to take down a couple of these peasants as well. All right. I believe the Phoenix was finally taken down, but at what cost? The Bloodmage is already, the cooldown is already completed. Mass Abominations, and yeah, Disease Cloud, lack of Brilliance Aura, and it's slowly just chipping away at all of these hit points. In comes a new Phoenix coming in from behind, and we're looking at perhaps trying to take down that Serpent Ward. That Serpent Ward should get focused down pretty quickly. That Phoenix needs to get out of there. Not going to be able to stick around for very long. It gets, well, cleaned up quickly as we're looking at another Flame Strike go down there. All right, Abominations, Healing Wave bouncing around. Siphon mana. Bloodmage still has plenty of mana. Could try to go for another Flame Strike again. The Abomination's trying to clean up all of these 2-0 Riflemen. Bloodmage summons up a new Phoenix, saying pretty much, did you miss me? Disease Cloud causing problems again, and I believe that is going to be the game. The level 7 Bloodmage with Mass Abominations, Destroyers, and Obsidian Statues by Starbuck, able to outlast and outpressure HawK here. Here in an all-random game. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.